This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardinas, to use this as an educational material. Our objectives for today is to gain knowledge about the challenges of global governance amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Number 2, to know the effects of globalization on governments. 3, to identify the institutions that govern international relations. 4, to differentiate internationalism from globalism. 5, to identify the roles and function of the United Nations. 6. To identify the challenges of global governance in the 21st century. 7. To explain the relevance of the state amid globalization. So what is global governance with the integration of COVID-19 pandemic? Global governance refers to the way in which international affairs and global issues are managed and regulated through international cooperation and institution. It encompasses the mechanism, processes, and organization that nations use to address common global challenges and promote collective actions. The concept of global governance recognizes that many issues and challenges in the modern world, such as climate change, trade, security, public health, transcend national borders and require coordinated efforts at national level. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the importance of global governance in several ways, including public health, vaccine distribution, travel restriction and trade, information sharing, and policy coordination. Public health. The pandemic underscored the need for international cooperation in managing and responding to global health crises. It revealed the independence of nations when it comes to public health as the virus easily crossed borders. Vaccine distribution. The equitable distribution of vaccine to combat COVID-19 has a critical issues. Global governance mechanisms such as COVAX, led by WHO, were established to ensure fair and widespread access to vaccines, especially for the lower and middle-income countries. Travel restriction and trade. The pandemic led to disruption in global trade and travel. Coordinated efforts were needed to establish guidelines for travel restrictions, testing, quarantine measures, as well as to maintain the flow of essential goods. Information sharing. The rapid spread of information about the virus, its variant, and the practices for prevention and treatment relied on the international cooperation among scientists, health experts, and governments. Policy coordination. Governments needed to coordinate their policy and to respond to minimize the economic and social impacts of the pandemic. International institutions like International Monetary Fund, or also known as IMF, and the World Bank provided financial support and policy advice to help countries navigate their income fallout.
So the next one is the effects of globalization in governance. First is money matters. Countries now rely on each other for trade and businesses. This can boost the economy, but it also means that problems in one place can hurt others. Governments need to make rules and plans to deal with that. So second is trading deals. Governments have to make deals with other countries about what can bought and sold. They decide on taxes for imports and exports. These are not also these deals, and governments must figure out how to make work for their own people. So third one is talking to other countries. Diplomacy and foreign policy are important for governments. They have to talk to other countries from friendships and other work together on global problems like climate change or fighting terrorism. Fourth is who's in charge. Government have to decide how much control they don't want to their own country. Sometimes they have to give up little power to work with other big business. So fifth is technology and the internet. Technology make it easy for information to spread. Governments need to make rules things like online privacy and security. They also need to handle changes in jobs and industry caused by technology. So the sixth one is people moving around. More people are moving between countries. Governments must take rules for immigration, help newcomers settle in, and deal with cultural differences. So the next one is rich and poor. Globalization can make the gap between rich and poor. People bigger governments must create policies to make sure everyone gets a fair shot of a good life. So the next one is taking care of our planet. Many environmental problems like climate change need countries to work together. Governments need to set rules and goals to protect the environment. So the next one is keeping safe. In a global world, security can be tricky. Governments must protect their countries from things like terrorism and cyber attacks. They also need to team up with others to stay safe. So the last one is people's views and politics. Globalization can change how people think and feel. Sometimes it leads to a new political movements or ideas. Governments must listen to their people and deal with these changes.
So, good day everyone. Today we will identify the institution that govern the international relations. So, let's proceed. So, first, what is international relation? International relation are the interaction among sovereign states. The scientific studies of interaction is called international studies, international politics, or international affairs. So, let's proceed. What are the institutional? So, first is the United Nations, the UN, is a central institution in the international relations. It was founded in 1945 and is composed of 193 member states. The UN addresses the wide range of global issues, including peace and security, human rights, development, and humanitarian assistance. It operates such through various specialized agencies and programs, such as the UN Security Council, UNICEF, and the World Health Organization. So next is the WTO, the World Trade Organization. It's responsible for regulating international trade and ensuring that trade flows as smoothly, predictably, and freely as possible. It provides forum for member states to negotiate trade agreements, resolve trade disputes, and monitor trade policies. So next is the IMF. It's an international financial organization that promotes monetary cooperation and exchange rate stability, facilitates facilit- facilitates the balanced growth of international trade, provides resources to help member countries in need, financial assistance, and offers economic policy and advice technical assistance. So last, the EU is a regional organization consisting of 27 European countries that cooperates in various policy areas including trade, economics, foreign affairs, and security. It also has a single currency, the euro, used by 19 member states. So each of these institutions plays a specific role in shaping the global order and addressing international challenges. Additionally, there are numerous bilateral and multilateral agreements and treaties that further regulate relations between countries in specific issues such as trade, security, and environmental protection. So that's all for today. Thank you.
Differentiate internationalism from globalism. Internationalism is the process of increasing the involvement of enterprises in international markets. It is a way of thinking in politics and diplomacy that says countries should team up and work together globally. It's all about the idea that nations should cooperate to solve shared problems and achieve common objectives on the world stage. Advantages of internationalism: job creation, attracting investment, new technology and materials, meeting our needs. Its disadvantages are support of non-democratic systems, cultural identity issues, social welfare issues, and political issues. Globalism, on the other hand, is the process of increasing by which businesses develop international influence or start operating on an international scale. It is a viewpoint or ideology that emphasizes the interconnectedness and interdependence of nations and people on a worldwide scale. It recognizes that events, issues, and actions in one part of the world can have significant effects on other parts of the world. Advantages of globalism are developing international trade and companies, enhancing information speed, reducing the probability of beginning a war. Its disadvantages are unemployment, great dependence of one country on others, extreme pollution of the environment.
Roles and functions of the United Nations. First, the maintenance of international peace and security. The United Nations plays a crucial role in preventing and resolving conflicts, authorizing peacekeeping missions, and promoting global security. Next is the conflict resolution. It meditates and facilitates peace negotiations to resolve disputes and prevent conflicts from escalating into violence. The third one is the peacekeeping operations. The United Nations deploys peacekeeping missions to stabilize conflict zones, monitor ceasefires, and protect civilians. The fourth one is humanitarian assistance. The United Nations provides humanitarian aid to countries affected by disasters, conflicts, and emergencies through agencies like UNICEF and the World Food Programme. The next is the promotion of human rights. It champions and protects human rights globally through the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the Human Rights Council. Next is sustainable development. The United Nations supports sustainable development goals and poverty reduction efforts through agencies like the United Nations Development Programme or UNDP. Environmental protection. It addresses environmental issues and climate change through initiatives like the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change or UNFCCC. Next is the arms control and disarmament. The United Nations works on arms control and disarmament through treaties like the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons or NPT. Promotion of international law. The United Nations promotes the rule of international law and resolves legal disputes among states through the International Court of Justice or ICJ. Lastly is the diplomacy and multilateralism. It provides a diplomatic forum for member states to discuss global challenges, fostering cooperation and dialogue among nations. These roles and functions collectively reflect the United Nations mission to promote peace, security, human rights, and development worldwide, making it a central institution in the field of international relations. The United Nations seeks to address a wide range of global challenges and promote cooperation among teams to create a more peaceful and just world.
Challenges of global governance in the 21st century. Hunger is still a major problem in our world today, even though we have enough food to feed everyone. This is a challenge for global leaders because many people, especially in poor and conflict affected areas, don't have enough to eat. It's made worse by things like climate change and problems with how food is grown and distributed. Solving hunger requires cooperation between countries, making sure everyone has the access to healthy food, and protecting the environment for the future. It's a big job that needs everyone working together. Next is poverty. Also a major problem in the world today, even though there's enough wealth to go around. This challenge continues because some people have a lot of money and resources, while others struggles to meet their basic needs. Poverty can make it hard for people to get an education, find good jobs, and access healthcare. It's made worse by things like financial crisis and conflicts. Fixing poverty requires countries to work together to reduce inequality, provide opportunities for everyone, and ensure the basic human rights are respected. It's a big task, but it's crucial for a fair and just world. Next is climate change. It is also a critical challenge for global governance because its wide-ranging impact the need for international cooperation, the complexity of solutions, and the urgency of the issue. Effective global governance mechanisms are essential for coordinating efforts, setting goals, and mobilizing resources to combat climate change and protect the planet for future generations. Next is food. It's also a major global challenge today because some people still go hungry while others face health problems from their diets. As the world's population grows and climate change affects agriculture, we need global cooperation to ensure everyone has enough good food, promote healthy eating, and reduce food waste. Global governance is vital to address these complex issues and create a more equitable food system. And terrorism.
is also a challenge of global governance in the 21st century because it's a global threat that requires coordinated international efforts. Combating terrorism involves multiple dimensions, including intelligence sharing, legal frameworks, countering radicalization, and addressing the root causes of extremism. Global governance mechanisms are essential for addressing these challenges and ensuring the security and stability of nations and regions worldwide.
So, good day everyone. I am the Cadet Ikatam Gordy Jr. and I am going to discuss about the relevance of state amid of globalization. So, first, what is state? So, state is derived from the word status. So, it is this distinctive and political community with its own set of rules and practices and that is more or less separate from other communities. So, state is never be a state without population. So, population is the people who make and use resources. So, they are also considered as resources having different qualities. So, population. So, total number of person inhabiting a particular place like city or state or country. So, and next is territory. So, state is a territorial unit. So, definite territory it is essential component. So, a state cannot be exist in air or at sea. So, the size of territory of a state can be big or small. So, nevertheless, it has to be definite and well marked portion of territory. So, and next is the government. So, there can be no state without government. So, government is the working agency of the state. So, it is the political organization of the state. And in order to make the enforce of law, so the state must have the highest authority. And next is sovereignty. So, it means supreme and final authority above and beyond which is no legal power exists, and it has two aspects. So, internal. So, in sovereignty, sovereignty, there are two types of aspects. So, internal. So, it means that the state is a supreme of overall its citizen and association. And the next one is the external. So, means that the state is independent and free from outside. So, next is next is nation. So, nation is derived from the Latin word natio, so which means birth or race. So, it just refers to the people rather than any kind of formal territorial boundaries or institution. So, it is collective and identity grounded on nation of shared history and culture. And so, for me, the state is really so for me the state is relevant remains the state remains relevant amid globalization because it is as the for me it is as the authority to establish and enforce law and regulation and policies that governs various aspects of globalization. So, it exercises significant control over the national economy, shaping economic policies and protecting our domestic industries. So, the state is the one who is responsible for providing social welfare and essential public services to its citizens. So, ensuring their well-being in this globalized world. So, it plays a crucial role in maintaining national security and defending our sovereignty, and in participating in national forums and cooperating with other countries to address the global challenges. So, ultimately, so the state is relevance lies in the ability to balance the benefits and the challenges of globalization. So, protecting our national interest and promoting the welfare of its citizens. So, that's all.